It's not very good.
I would definitely put it in the top 10.
So good.
It's kind of a mess.
A great work of cinema.
Train wreck.
Beyond a slasher, beyond a jump scare.
More thought has gone into the story.
Respecting the source material.
Extremely gory, extremely violent.
The lighting, the sets, the costuming.
Extremely scary.
Well staged, well shot, well acted.
I saw the comedy for what it is.
Relentless.
It was just really, really good.
This is pretty cool.
Another reason why I think it's
So good.
We do have a system, and it works.
Hello and welcome out there in podcast and YouTube land. You have reached Johnny Has the Keys, a podcast where we talk about horror movies, science fiction films, key influences on those particular films, and then things that they in turn influence going forward. We've been doing it for quite a few years now, but if you're new to us, we'd love to know how you found out about us. Leave a little note down below and be sure to subscribe and link and do all that. Look back at all of our past seasons and episodes that we have. We would love to, I'm sure you'll find something that you like in there or love to dislike. So we do that too. We're totally unscripted in case you didn't know. If you're returning to us, thanks. Welcome back. Glad to have you. I'm here with my good friend Tim. Tim, what have you been doing this week? Anything fun, exciting?
Oh my gosh. I have been watching a lot of horror movies. I'm actually having to stack them up for genre topics. I've watched so many and I can't. Obviously, they're going to stretch out a little ways. But I watched a really unique one the other day, and it's called Good Boy.
Good Boy.
Have you seen or heard anything about this?
Dog, I guess?
Yes, actually.
Is it a demon dog?
No, not at all.
Okay.
The dog is the hero. It came out in 2025, last year. And it's a very unique film as it's a haunted house story told from the perspective of the dog.
Oh, by perspective of the dog, do you mean like it's a low camera dog's POV?
In some cases, but not always.
Okay.
A lot of it's his reaction, so it wouldn't necessarily be low.
Is it narrated by Michael J. Fox or something
No,
as his
it's
voice?
not narrated.
Okay.
There's not that much dialogue at all, as a matter of fact. Very similar to our film today. The dog's name is Indy, after Indiana Jones, which they do
Cool.
make a joke about early on. It's genuinely scary. You feel like this dog is scared. It took 3 years to shoot. It cost roughly $70,000 to make, and it has grossed $9 million so far.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. It's directed by Ben Leonberg, or Leonberg. He's done a lot of short films, nothing else. It was written by him and a guy named Alex Cannon. The cast is great. It features a dog named Indy, a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever. Very pretty, unique looking dog. Incredibly intelligent. It's just obvious.
Okay.
You barely see an actor's face in this. You just see
Really?
it's focused on the dog. However, I did recognize Larry Fessenden in a cameo. He plays the grandpa in a flashback. And Larry Fessenden is a character actor that we've talked about a lot. He appears in a lot of horror movies. He was in that movie Jugface. He was in that movie, which you haven't seen, but he was also in House of the Devil. He was the guy in the cemetery smoking.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if he was smoking, maybe the girl. But anyway, a synopsis is: a loyal dog moves to a rural family home with his owner, only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. A dark entity threatens his human companion, and the brave pup must fight to protect the one he loves most. The reason they go to this house is the human companion actually has a terminal disease and is dying. So you've got a lot of conflict there as well with the dog. The movie gets 90% on Rotten Tomatoes with 184 reviews. I imagine this was incredibly difficult to make, and it is very effective. I've actually not ever seen anything like it before.
Wow.
Is described as by critics as one of the most heartbreaking horror films of 2025.
Interesting.
And it's not because the dog dies, folks. The dog does not die. I will spoil that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I'm not big on animals being hurt in movies. So, but that's
Yeah.
what I did. A very, very unique horror movie. And it's on Shudder. So,
Good Boy on Shudder. Sounds
mhm.
interesting. Well, I too delved into your genre. I watched a horror movie
Oh,
this past week, and and I'm hoping, I can't remember if you have seen it or not yet. I think you have and mentioned it, or maybe not. But I watched Del Toro's Frankenstein.
I have not seen it. It's on Netflix, damn it.
Yes. Tim, it is one of the best films I have seen probably in 10 years. It's
Okay.
amazing. It
Awesome.
is excellent in every regard. I know it was nominated for a bunch of Oscars, and all of them are deserved. I cannot believe Oscar Isaac was not nominated because he is brilliant. This
Del
I
Toro
watched.
wasn't nominated either, was he? I don't think so.
I don't think
I can't remember.
so,
It seems like
but
well, there was one picture I know where the director wasn't nominated and it was controversial, but I
I,
can't remember
I,
which one
I,
it was.
I can't say enough. I watched it twice, and then I went and found on YouTube they have like a 45-minute making of, which is basically just stream of consciousness from Del Toro. Do you remember when he did the one for
Pan's Labyrinth,
No
Shape
Water,
of Water.
Shape of Water, and he talked about how he originally designed it and how he worked on the design, how he collaborated. Blah, 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 blah. This is like that. He talks at one point. He talks about. He goes, ever since I was a little boy, the two books that influenced me the most were Pinocchio and Frankenstein.
Okay.
And he said,
They're
and
very similar.
if you think about the similarities
Hmm.
of a lead character who's young, who's a boy, or who's new to life, who wants to grow up, he wants to be a part of the world, he wants to see the world, and they both have these absent fathers who are abusive and treat them badly, and but it has practical effects. It has incredible costume design. It has incredible production design. The effects work. He said, if you can't do it on the set, I don't want to do the effect. I don't want CGI for this. I want to
Wow.
see it. So, and it even has, like in this documentary, it talks to some of the art department going to him going, we could just put in digitally a bunch of these body parts and everything else. He said, no, I want you to make them. Hands, feet, heads, arms, bones. I want to see them on the set. And I was going, yes. And Tim, it looks like it is an epic. It is a David Lean, huge epic. And it's so true to the story, which
Well,
is
that's what I was
great.
thinking it would have to be because they end up in like Antarctica and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is so true to the story. It is, you should watch it tonight. I think you would love it. It is brilliant.
It's
I
been on my
cannot.
list and I tried to find it the other day and it was on Netflix. And I was like, fuck this. Unless you have a subscription, it is very
Mhm.
hard to watch a Netflix film unless you pirate it. You can't rent it. They don't let their stuff be rented.
Mhm.
But
True.
if I can rent it somewhere, I will.
Well,
So
I know from Apple you can rent it. I don't know if you can from Amazon. You might be able to from Prime.
I
You
doubt
might be
it.
able to rent it, but I doubt it. And if this buyout goes, if they end up buying out Warner's, because they're in the bidding for it, Netflix is trying to buy Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I thought that already happened.
It may
Maybe. I
have.
don't.
I don't know.
Hmm.
If it happens, it will be bad because they will have now all these Warner Brothers studios that they can film all their movies on and everything. They'll become a huge behemoth.
Well, the reason there's concern that I heard was that they tend to release a lot of their stuff on their platform instead of theaters. But I'm thinking if they're buying Warner Brothers, they have other things in mind.
Well, I think it's both. They want because what I saw, just read a big thing about it yesterday, that part of the negotiation is they want a 17-day window, which is just insane. So the windows used to be 6 months. 10 years ago, it was 6 months. A movie was released in theaters, you would not see it on any form of DVD release or anything for 6 months. It was part of the contract. And then that went to 4 months. And then it went to 90 days. And then it went to 45 days, which is, I think, what it's been for the past little while. But then during COVID, remember the big thing with Black Widow was her movie was released in theaters and streaming the same day. They released them both the same day. And that was a
Okay.
huge fervor. And that's why she sued Marvel and everything else.
Well, and 17 days, it doesn't give it long enough really
Nope.
to
Nope.
make money
And these,
even.
or to preserve an art form. So all these people are saying cinemas will close. AMC and everything will close because who is going to go see a movie in a theater when you can see it in your on your couch in 17 days?
I don't know. Some people will.
Well, that's what they're saying, but you won't be able to have a multiplex with 25 releases, so you're
No.
going to go down to like a single theater again. Like,
That's maybe not a bad thing.
well, what my guys on Cinephiles, they were even talking about it on one of their shorts, and they said what you might end up seeing is these movie experiences. So you go and movie theaters, instead of being a multiplex, they take all that real estate and they turn it into a full menu and bar and everything else. So you go and have this whole experience, and instead of
Right.
costing $20, it costs you 50, but it's a whole thing with dinner and all of that. And it becomes an experience.
Yeah.
So
I learned a new word this week. It's not a new word, but it was new to me, and it's catastrophizing. And that's what everyone does, catastrophizing. It's basically what I call Chicken Little, the sky's falling.
yeah,
And that's what they're saying. If Netflix buys Warner Brothers, every theater is going to close. It's like,
Right.
come on, quit catastrophizing.
Well, in our current worldview, there's a lot of catastrophe. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
true. That is true.
So I think
But
it's more or less, it's kind of like people, are you always just going to be a pessimist? No, I'm a realist, and it really
yeah,
sucks right now.
yeah,
Anyway, that's what I did. I watched Frankenstein, and I thought it was wonderful and brilliant, and cannot decree enough how incredible it is. And you watched A Good Dog, which was small. His was this grandiose epic. Yours was this small, intense one. It's very interesting.
but both are very intense personal stories, and we
Yes.
are going to be doing a very small story again, that's very cinematic today.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
wow, I had some more I was going to segue with. Probably just the way it's shot. I don't know. We'll just go ahead and mention that
Well, like
what's
you
that?
said, that one of the things you said was for Good Boy, you didn't even see any human faces. The way he shot it and structured it and filmed it, very unique cinema language or film language.
Right.
Same thing with Del Toro in this one. It's huge lenses and big epic spaces, and but then going into very intimate close-ups of people's
Right.
eyes and everything. So, and I think the movie today is like that. It has a
It is.
very unique visual style.
It is. The anamorphic lenses, black and
Mm-hmm.
white photography. We are
Mm-hmm.
covering a movie from 2014 that likely a lot of you have never heard of or seen, called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Now, if you listen to our podcast, you've heard of it because I have been talking about this movie for, I don't know, what, 4 years now? At
And
least.
I've been talking about the strangest title I have heard in a while. So yes.
And there's a play on that title. We'll get to that. But first, a synopsis. In this film, which is a foreign film. It's hard to describe because it's not really a foreign film. It was filmed in California, but it is filmed it's a foreign language film. Let's put it that way. A hardworking Iranian man named Arash lives and takes care of his father, who is obviously addicted to heroin. You see him actually shooting heroin into his foot at one point, which is gross. He is harassed by a ruthless pimp named Saeed that is there to get money that Arash's father owes him. He doesn't have any money, so Saeed takes Arash's car, which is probably his bread and butter to make money, and Arash can't do anything about it. He works for a girl named Shada, and he steals a pair of her earrings. Later, Saeed comes across a strange woman that walks the streets at night in a chador. I believe that's what you call it. It's like a nun's habit that goes all the way to the ground. She persuades him to take her home, and she ends up biting his finger off and then killing him. She is a vampire. When she leaves, she passes Arash in the doorway because Arash is taking the earrings to Saeed to try to get his car back. He just notices her. She notices him. She keeps going. He finds Arash dead. He sees drugs and money everywhere, so he packs it all up in the little suitcase that Saeed carries and takes it, decides he's going to quit his job, sell the drugs for money, and live happily ever after, whatever. The woman in the chador haunts the streets at night. She actually steals a boy's skateboard at one time. You'll see her skateboarding at night. Arash is now out partying one night since he's selling drugs with Shada, and they all take ecstasy. So he is tripping. He is dressed up as Dracula. It's like a Halloween kind of thing. And he gets lost on his way home, and he runs into the girl in the chador. And I keep saying the girl in the chador or chador because she has no name. There is no name for her in the cast. She recognizes something in him that intrigues her, and she takes him home with her, but she doesn't kill him. He shows her the earrings, and she lets him pierce her ears and put the earrings in. Then we have Addie, one of Saeed's prostitutes that you see in a scene earlier where he's treating her badly and not paying her. She ends up being followed by the woman in the chador at night. She gives her the money that Saeed owed her. I guess she got the money from Arash. And she realizes that this woman is sad, kind of like Arash was when he was lost. And she doesn't kill her. You start realizing that this vampire is only killing bad people. Meanwhile, suffering from heroin withdrawal, Hossein, Arash's father, believes Arash's cat, there's a cat in this movie, by the way, he is convinced that the cat is Arash's dead mother because of like heroin delusion. Arash gets pissed off, gives him money and drugs, throws him out, tells him to take the cat with him. He goes to the prostitute and he forces her to take heroin with him. I guess he knew her because Saeed was his dealer. When they are found by the woman in the chador, the woman kills Hossein, Arash's father, and Addie the prostitute, helps her dispose of Hussein's body, and she tells the woman to take the cat and leave. The following morning, Arash discovers his father's body. He's distressed. He goes to the woman's apartment and begs her to run away with him. The cat appears, and he realizes that the woman had something to do with his father's death. A lot of this is implied. There's not a lot of dialogue in this movie. And Arash and the woman drive off together. He pulls off on the side of the road, unsure what to do, and eventually he gets back in the car and they just continue their trip. And that's the end of the movie. It's like a little slice of these 4 or 5 people's lives, if you include the cat. I probably butchered that.
Well, not bad. You gave the plot all the way through. I think it's a unique movie to synopsize just because there is so little dialogue and so much implied all the way through it. Other stuff that's very direct and you can tell. Drug dealer, bad man, bad things all the way through.
Addicted father, bad.
But there are other things that I was curious about before I get into my overall comments, but a question I had. So I even have in my notes, was Ali his mom? He never has a scene with her. She's never, Adi, they never have a scene together. And I thought the pictures that were on the mantle that the father scoops away and throws away and gets mad and everything else were of Adi, because there is one scene. It's a scene like halfway through when he's approaching, and I assume it's him. It was an old man, and now I'm thinking, based on the cast list, it had to be him. But his father approaches the prostitute on the street, and she basically says no to him. You know, he's going, come on, let's go hang out and have a good time, da da da. And she basically says no to him and walks away. And when he looks across the street, the girl is there. And they like walk together, and when he stops, she stops. And then they keep walking. When he stops, she stops. And then he just walks away and she lets him go. for some reason, I got the impression, even down to the end of it, that that was Arash's mom, that she
Okay, I
became a
never
prostitute.
got that, but now I want to watch it again to look at those pictures you're talking about.
Yeah, I want look at it and see, and you
And
could
I've
probably
seen
fast
this
forward.
movie 4 times.
Well, there's a scene where early on, after the pimp has been there, there's a scene where Arash is just looking at the photos, and you can tell he misses his mom.
I
And
do
then
remember
later,
that. I just don't
and then
remember the woman being Audie. And she could have been, because Audie is definitely older for a prostitute.
right, and they don't have a scene together. Arash never approaches her; they never see each other. So, but what I was is anyway. So that's just a question I had
That's
that I
interesting.
garnered from it. I think there are other questions that arise in the movie just because it is so unique. And
Hmm.
I'll say it right now, and haters come at me and talk to me and whatever. My opinion is this is a movie that David Lynch wishes he could make. That's my take on this movie. It
It
has
is,
some very Lynchian feel to it in places, but
um,
it's more linear and
it's
it
also a
works.
lot warmer to me than a
Yes,
David Lynch film. David
correct.
Lynch
There
film's
is
very cold.
compassion. There's
Yeah.
compassion and there is heart and there's obviously love in
Hmm.
this. And but the way that there's so much good about this movie. And by the way, I take back everything I've said for 2 years about this title and making fun of you for watching strange Muslim westerns or whatever you
No,
call
it's
them.
an I. It was actually billed as when they were promoting this movie, they promoted it as the first Iranian vampire western. That was the term.
Correct. And I can see that. I have in my keys as Sergio Leone or the man who never speaks, Clint Eastwood
Right.
character in Fistful of Dollars and all of that. So you could see that, her being similar to that, coming into town and messing things up, sort of
Except I
thing.
don't know that she's come into town. She just happens to be there. You don't really ever see her come to town. She just
Well, I
haunts
don't
the
think,
streets at night.
yeah, I just don't think she could have been haunting for a long time with all the bodies piling up or whatever. Because she
Right. And she
doesn't,
doesn't take much care to get rid of them.
nope,
She
doesn't
put
do
one
anything.
out by a dumpster.
Yeah, she just, let's just pull it out here. It'll be fine. But
Um,
there is a thing that I have another question raised by this, and I have
sure.
an answer I wanted to run by you, which is the opening credits are of a mass grave and just this huge mass grave beyond this overpass. And Arish walks by it. And then later on, we see it again in a transition scene. And then later on, we see it with somebody actually throwing a body into it. I don't know if that's in the end credits or not. Can't remember. But it's 3 times that we see that mass grave. And I have in my notes, what the hell is up with the mass grave? I don't understand. There's no mention of it. Nobody says anything. What is it? And then I start thinking, well, this was filmed in California, but it totally feels like a foreign film, not a foreign language film to me. It feels foreign. It feels foreign
Oh
in
yeah.
pacing,
I
in
thought when I found out
design.
it was filmed in a Bakersfield suburb, I was
Yeah.
shocked.
Yeah. And maybe they threw the mass grave in there, just say, okay, this definitely isn't America.
Hmm.
Obviously, we're not in
But
America
it
then.
almost looks
But,
like there's been some giant bombing or something. Like that's
or a
a
war.
pit. A
Yep.
war. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's very odd. And it's never explained. That's another reason I love this is another reason that's going to drive people crazy that I love is the ambiguity of everything. It's a slow burn with a lot of ambiguity, and a lot of people cannot handle that.
Oh yeah. And I think slow burn is a massive understatement. There are certain scenes in this that seem like they go on for
Where
hours.
it's like her in a profile, and like 30 seconds later, his face just comes into frame.
Mhm. No dialogue,
No
nothing,
dialogue.
just, and then slowly she turns to him and then they look and you think it goes, that scene is one in particular. When I have scenes, it's one of my scenes
Okay.
listed.
That's funny.
It
Well,
is,
before we move on to that stuff, we haven't talked about production. Also, I wanted to
yeah.
get your take on it. I know it's your first time you've ever seen it,
Mhm.
but so what do you think?
I loved it. I thought it was really good. I do think it's a I think for modern audiences, it takes a disclaimer of give it time, watch it,
Yeah.
observe it, look at it. I think it has elements of student film feel to it.
Hmm.
The way he frames stuff and does stuff and has stuff for
It's a
really
she.
the way she does
Yeah.
stuff. The drug dealer's apartment, just the way that's framed with him in the lower left kneeling down and then the staircase and the door and all these juxtaposed weird angles.
Hmm.
It's just such a cool framing. The scene we were talking about where it's just she will allow scenes to just develop very slowly and let these actors really feel it and do it and give us all these, make our brains just think what's happening, okay, maybe
Right.
this means this, and this means this, and this means this. Totally, she totally throws Chekhov's gun out the window because she has, oh, I'm going to steal this skateboard from this kid and I'm actually going to be seen riding it down the street at times, and it means nothing to the plot, to the story, and it has nothing to do with anything, but
No,
it's
it's just
cool.
cool to see her skateboarding. She looks like a skateboarding nun,
Yeah.
but she's just going real slow and real atmospheric, you know.
And I love the fact that what'd you call it, a chador? A
Yeah,
chador?
Chidor.
I love the fact that it makes her look almost like a shadow.
Hmm.
It makes her just blend in at times, and you barely see her against the shadows of the city or the buildings and whatever. It's just really,
It's
so
very,
yeah,
very Sergio Leone, like you said, the Clint Eastwood silhouette with like the duster or whatever and the hat. Yeah.
right. And she does that well too, because other than maybe, I think three other characters that we see,
Hmm.
only the principals are the only people we see. These streets are not crowded. There are not,
No.
there's not a lot of people out.
And
I mean,
I think I neglected to mention that the town is a fictional town called Bad City.
yeah,
So it's painted to be corrupt and seedy, and she is like a vigilante, so to
yes,
speak.
of course.
Yeah.
That's a great, I think, thematic underneath it, but I don't
Hmm.
think she pushes it like it's not mythic or
Mm-mm.
mysterious or whatever. He just
No.
says, "Let's get out of big city
No, and as we
or bad
proceed, I
city."
think you'll see that it's basically an amalgamation of a lot of things that she admires from other filmmakers and mediums.
Well, it's definitely I don't know her history if
Yeah.
is for her, but it's a great film.
Yes, and one of the best reviews I read said that it is a masterclass in filmmaking.
Oh God, yes.
And I was
Yes.
like, wow, for a first film. And another review I read said this is the best calling card for a first film director ever.
Oh,
This girl's gonna
yes.
work. Her name is Anna Lily Amirpour, and she is English. She is British. But she is of Iranian descent. I'm pretty she's from Middle Eastern descent for sure. But
Okay.
she is an English born citizen. She has done other movies, but not ones I have heard of. One is called The Bad Batch, and one is called Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. Now, these came subsequent to A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I want to see the Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon because it's also a genre story and it has Kate Hudson in it, and I had never heard of it, so now I want to see it. It
Hmm.
gets pretty good reviews too. But she has since this done tons of television. So people saw the talent when it premiered at Sundance. She has done a lot of genre television. She did Twilight Zone, the reboot. She did Castle Rock, and she did Legion. So that means people like Jordan Peele, J.J. Abrams, and Noah Hawley all recognize her talent and tapped her to do these shows that they produced. This, though, was her feature debut. It started with an early short film with the same title that she showed at festivals, and she won one. She won an award for best short film at an Iranian film festival.
Okay.
So she did an Indiegogo campaign to fund a feature-length version of this in 2012. The campaign's goal of $55,000 was surpassed. She got almost $57,000 with 290 backers. And then she shot the movie in California in 24 days
Wow.
with money she raised through campaign funding. I just love it.
Wow.
It's like, man, that's pretty smart. It's the first vampire story to be set in a Middle Eastern setting, even though it is, like we said, filmed in it's Taft, California, and that is a suburb of Bakersfield. So it's out in the middle of
Jesus.
nowhere.
But they obviously have oil pumps. So,
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that. I forgot all about that. It's such an it's such a bleak looking setting in places like that big pit with the bodies and those oil rig things
mhm.
churning.
Well, and she also does that very Lynchian thing where there are times where you're just hearing this low industrial
Hum.
rumble,
Yeah,
which gives it a very unnerving presence, even when it's just her walking down the sidewalk really slowly. So,
right.
yeah.
And that's it. Well, but we can do a few more scenes because you've already done some. But one of the things I wanted to mention though is the title. It's like she chose that title intentionally because she wants you to think this woman is vulnerable. Because when you hear a girl walks home alone at night, you're like, uh-oh, she's in jeopardy. But in all actuality, it's the exact opposite. She is the threat,
Right. Yeah.
which
And the way
I
she
love
does
that.
that is very good. If you did not, okay, I said before the movie that came out last year with the ballerina kidnapped and
I know what you're talking about now. I can't think of the name of it. The
yeah,
vampire
but you know
ballerina.
the little girl ballerina who's kidnapped, which would have been so scary and great if suddenly we didn't know from the trailers and suddenly she turns out to be a vampire, would have been just scary and great. But instead we go into it just waiting for her to transition. Not knowing that about this one made that whole reveal so great when they're doing the pseudo sexy sort of thing and suddenly she bites his finger off and he looks up at her and she goes and those teeth come out. I went, yeah.
Yeah. Abigail is the name of that movie you're talking
Yep.
about.
Yeah. So yeah, that one had issues, but this one is straightforward, great.
Well, that one
So yeah.
also had comedy that I did not really like, and this one is not
True.
comic at all. I can't even
True.
recall a funny moment. However, I love the scene, speaking of scenes, when she is seducing Saeed, and I'm like, oh my God. Because
Oh yeah.
unlike, well, you don't know yet that she only kills bad guys. With Saeed, you're like, oh, she gonna kill him, and
Yeah.
she's sucking on his finger very phallically, and she just bites it off.
Bites it off.
And
Yes.
he freaks. All of a sudden, he is no longer a strong character at all. He is cowering and crawling away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And takes it. But then there's also to juxtapose that to show early on that she doesn't kill everyone. She steals that skateboard from that little boy, and that little boy is super cute. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you better not kill that little boy.
Oh, I know. And I think that's what the filmmaker wanted. She wanted us to go, no, 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 not the kid, not the kid, not the
Yeah, not
kid.
the kid. And instead, she just kind of spooks him. He runs off, and
Yeah.
she takes his skateboard.
If this was Stephen King or Pennywise, you would have killed the kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'd have ripped his arms off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
So
So
that's a good scene. The side scene and the scene with the little boy is a good scene. There's so many good scenes because it's so well filmed.
yes, and paced. Again, I don't think modern audiences will enjoy it because it is paced very slowly.
Very slow.
But but to me, none of that was, oh, boredom. I have to check my watch or I have to check my phone or whatever.
Hmm.
Boredom pace. It was really, it was intentional and I think was appropriate where it
Yeah,
was used.
yeah. I watched it and I immediately watched it over again. It's
Mm,
like I could not. I was like, that's why I'm so shocked that I didn't catch that maybe that's Addie in those pictures. But if it is, America hasn't caught on to it either because I read a lot of research on this and no one has said that. So I don't
okay.
know. But we'll see. I'll go back and
Well,
watch
and
it
the
again.
fact that she's not given a last name or anything, none of them are.
None of
So
them
it's
are.
hard
Yeah.
to associate. And I don't know if, again, that was intentional either. If you look at, even if you go to IMDb and look at the cast list, it's all generics, really, even down to skeleton party girl,
Well, that
you
is
know.
Anna.
Yeah, that's the director.
That's the
Yeah. So,
director. Yeah, she's behind me right now in my
but
shoulder. Yeah. Well, since we're talking about cast, I can move on to cast because I do have some interesting notes about these people that all appear Middle Eastern.
yeah.
Well, the girl in question, the lead, is named Sheila Vond. She has done some pretty big movies. One I have seen. First of all, she did Argo. She was in Argo. She's also in The Rental, which I talked about on this podcast a few years back for a genre topic. It's a Dan Stevens movie with Alison Brie and Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. And that was
Okay.
directed by Dave Franco. It's about these two couples that go on this vacation that turns sideways. She
Okay.
is in that. And I was like, wow, okay, there's that girl again. She was born in Los Angeles and grew up in Palo Alto and is a second generation Iranian American of Persian descent. So she has got
Wow.
Iranian in her ancestry.
Okay.
The guy that plays Arash Marandi was in a movie I have also talked about on a genre topic years back called Under the Shadow, which I was telling you about because it's very similar to the Del Toro movie about the kid, not Pan's Labyrinth, the one we did, The Devil's Backbone, where
No.
there's this bomb sitting in the center of that courtyard. Well,
Yeah.
in Under the Shadow, there's a bomb in like the top of an apartment building. And everyone that lives in that apartment building has this fear of it going off or whatever. It's an
Yeah.
Iranian film. And Arash was in that. The guy that plays her, well, his name is Arash. He's Arash in the movie, and his real name is Arash Marandi.
Okay.
He also plays Dr. Reza on the Tehran series that you may have seen on Apple TV.
Oh, yeah. That's a
Okay.
good series from what
Yeah.
I've heard. I have
I'm
not
telling you,
watched it
all
yet.
of these actors work. Even though they don't
Good.
look like people we know, they all work.
Good.
Marshall Manish played Hussein, the junkie.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Bug. He was in no, excuse me. He was in The Big Lebowski. He was in Pirates of the Caribbean. He was a regular on How I Met Your Mother.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, it freaks me out that she found all these people that don't look familiar, and yet they're definitely working. Marshall Manish was born in Iran. He came to the States in the 70s.
Mm. Okay.
Mozan, if I'm saying that right, Navabi plays Addie, the prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at a picture of her, and she looks younger than she did in the movie, but maybe that's just the picture.
Yeah, I recognized her immediately because she was in the Blacklist, the
She
series.
was. She was in Blacklist, and she was also on House of Cards, another
Yeah,
series that was very popular.
great actress. She's really
Yeah.
strong.
Well, she is originally from Los Angeles. She went to boarding school at the Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts, and received a BA in comparative literature from Barnard College and Columbia University, and an MFA in acting at the Yale School of Drama.
Wow. Maybe
Yeah,
that's why she's so good.
she's got some cred. She received additional
Definitely.
training at the Guthrie Theater in Minnesota and at the Public Theater's Shakespeare Lab in New York.
Nice.
Yeah. So Mozan Navabi has got probably more cred than anybody in this film, I'm thinking. And she plays, well, maybe not cred as far as credentials, but as far as education. And she played Addie the prostitute.
Yeah, she was
Dominic,
great.
Dominic Raines plays Saeed the pimp. This guy is in all those Chicago shows, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. So he is a CBS person. Isn't that
There you
CBS?
go.
I think it is. As well as playing Cassius on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. He was born in Tehran, Iran, but he grew up in Dallas, Texas. So a lot of these people are of Iranian descent, as you see. Rome Chandaloo plays Shada, the princess. And that's exactly what that means, by the way. Shada translates to the princess, the one he stole the
Okay.
earrings from.
Yes.
She was also on How I Met Your Mother, so I guess she knew Marshall somehow. I don't know if there was a connection there. And she was on the show Entourage. She was born in Tehran as well and grew up in Los Angeles, California.
So I had a question about her. Is she in the film, is she the same one that gets the X from that makes him take the X at the party?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know. I was curious. I thought it was, but I didn't know for sure
Well,
because I didn't know her name.
from a writer's standpoint, I think she needed to show that he quit working for her because he's selling drugs. But if he's selling drugs in order to not cast other people, why doesn't he just sell them to her? And I think that's why they did that.
Well, and that's also the scene, like you said, with the director is in it too. That's her friend.
Correct.
So
And they
they're
all
both
do
getting
ecstasy
drunk.
together. He sells them
Yeah.
ecstasy and she just coaxes him into doing it with them. And then he
Hmm.
trips out in his Dracula costume, which I find hilarious.
Yes.
That's the only funny thing in this movie. And he is wandering the streets at night in a Dracula costume when there's
Yeah.
actually a real vampire skateboarding down the road.
And you would think he's
Irony.
either trying to pick her up or she's trying to pick him up, either to kill him or to not. But then he goes, "I have to sit down." He sits down on the sidewalk.
That's hilarious. Before I move on from cast, there are some other people in this.
Yeah.
There is a weird, he's not weird, he's just kind of odd because he appears at strange times, or it may be a she, like chorus or narrator, or I don't know how you would describe this role, but it's defined as rockabilly. And it's played by Reza Sizo Safai, a gender bending minor background character that exists on like the fringe of Bad City. You know who I'm talking about?
Is that
Looks,
the balloon person?
I think so. It looks like like a trans
Yes.
woman. Yes.
And I said, "Is that Addie?" No, that's not Addie. Who
No,
is that? That's not
no,
the
it's a
rich
man
girl.
in drag.
I don't know. Is that a man in drag? I don't know
Yes,
what that is.
it
So yeah.
is. And Amarpour has directly stated that if there is one political thing in this film, it is not the chador that she wears. It's rockabilly because it is not okay to be gay in Iran. And that was her point.
Okay. I did not. Well, yes, I guess I
That's
can
kind of a little
assume that.
politics she put in there. I'm not even sure that she put it in there to be political. She's just saying if there is anything political, that would be it.
I have in my notes, I don't know why that person was there except for some form of free expression, be yourself, do your thing, which is what the girl is experiencing and also what Addie is trying to do and what Arash is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that's the only reason I could see for this character having an entire scene where they're basically dancing with a balloon.
Right. And they don't really have I want to say she doesn't really have scenes so much as they're like little interludes between scenes. Does
Yes.
that make sense? And that's why I
Yeah.
feel she's like a Greek chorus, even though she's not preaching. She's just present.
Right. But she's also not part of it. She's not observing the action. She's not commenting on the action. She's not a part
Right.
of
So
the
she
action.
could potentially be a narrator if she was telling anything.
Yes.
She's omnipotent or whatever. She's omniscient. She's away from it, so to
Right.
speak. Yeah. And then lastly, Masuka the cat was not originally written into the script, but Amarpour was so impressed by his skills that she put him in the film.
It was that audition that blew
Yeah.
her away for the dog that she showed up at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have on cast. What else have I got? As far as awards, this was nominated for 23 awards and it has won 9 across the Indie Circuit Board. It won 3 Sitges Catalonian International Film Festival awards, including the Citizen Kane Award for Best Directorial Revelation, the Carnet Jove Jury Award, and the Special Mention Award, all for Anna Lily Amarpour, the director. It is not on the 1001 movies you must see before you die list. And
I understand that.
I understand it, but as far as education, I think people should use this movie in classes for sure.
Oh, I definitely
Because,
think so. And I think people should use it as an example of first time efforts, just like Orson Welles and Citizen Kane.
right.
This is this is an incredible movie in general, but to be a first movie, wow, that says a
Nah,
lot.
funded from Indiegogo.
Yeah, yeah. And says a lot about the independent film in general. But it's because, like we say with artists and everything, she's taking risks. She's doing stuff
Mhm.
that filming it in black and white, setting it in a foreign language with a foreign country, dealing with very, very slow pacing when everything is Jerry Bruckheimer blow everything up pacing all the time. I've really gotten to hate what I call wavy cam. It's even in the new Star Trek series and everything else where we can't lock a camera down. Every shot has to just kind of
I know. I
do
hate that
this
too.
all that, and I'm like, and it's all over television now. It's in
Mhm.
everything where they just you can't lock a camera down. You just got to have this little like
It
where
reminds me of the docu comedy things like The Office and stuff, where they
oh yeah,
want you to think that the camera's moving because it's not
yeah,
like it's.
handheld all the
Yeah, I
time
hate
and all
that.
that.
I hate it
Yeah,
too.
I do too. And what I liked about this was this one doesn't do that. As a matter of fact, there's
Mm-mm.
very little moving camera in this movie. She creates static shots that are really cool. Like even in the first, I think it's like the second or third scene, but it's basically the drug dealer in the car with Addie,
Hmm.
and
It is. It's early on.
but it's all shot like through the side mirrors,
Hmm.
where you're getting the whole frame is this out of focus circle, and you're seeing their reflections from inside the car. It's really
Hmm.
cool
And
and
later
very
you
well
see,
shot.
later he sees the girl in the chador in the rearview mirror through
In
the
the
back
rearview mirror.
windshield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And later on, when he throws her out and everything else, she makes sure the car's in the foreground, cutting into it, like we're looking through the windows
Hmm.
and stuff. It's really, it's a great cinematic movie. If you want to watch it for movie making, this is great.
I
It's a great
think
movie.
that, well, and this is what a lot of young filmmakers should learn is do a small movie with a small cast and a small story, and then you have more time to play. Because I feel
Yeah.
like she is just playing with this movie and just doing all this experimental shit that just pays off big time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And one thing we haven't mentioned that I saw in a bunch of reviews and stuff that I looked at is the soundtrack for this
Yeah.
is very popular and well known and everything. There's a lot of music and there's a lot of music variety. Even down to there's one scene where he's just driving, he's mad, he's got his car back and he's just driving and I think he's debating, do I become a drug dealer or not? And suddenly we're hearing like a lot of trumpets and very Sergio Leone spaghetti western music. But then when he goes to the club, it's a totally different style of
It's like
music. When
techno music. When it's in her
yeah,
apartment, it's like pop
more
music.
lyrical,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah, the soundtrack's pretty cool.
it is. And since we usually do a little trivia before we go to keys, one of the quotes I have of hers is that she said, every piece of this story, every character, every costume, every bit of music is something that I love to the point of obsession.
Okay.
So she put everything in there for a reason because she loved
Okay.
it. Did you have any other trivia?
Not no, 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 no. A lot of the like the research I did for this, usually don't do as much for the horror movies because I think that's more your bailiwick. But what I did find out, I didn't know the financial thing. So to me, that's a big kind of key for almost like Evil Dead
Yeah,
of do a short first, get some interest, then work on your financing to get your feature.
it's very
That's
Evil
kind of
Dead.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sure other movies do it as well. But I have a little bit more trivia. Anna who bears a striking resemblance to Sheila Vaughn, who plays the girl. They look a lot alike if you look at their pictures together beside each other, is a lifelong skateboarder. So she did all the skateboarding.
Mm. So the long shots of her coming down the street, that's
That's
actually
the
the
director
director?
too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And this I never really understood. I don't know if it's because of rights or not, but there's that one scene in her, actually there's more than one scene in her apartment where there's all those posters behind the bed. And one of them is pretty recognizable as the Bee Gees. But when you look at like the Michael Jackson and the Madonna one, they're like lookalikes. They're not the actual Madonna and Michael Jackson, which
Maybe she did it because of that.
I don't know. I've got that the Bee Gees poster seems authentic, but it seems like imposters are posing as the others. It may have been deliberately to create an unsettling atmosphere for the film. It definitely had me questioning what the fuck. And then there's a smaller poster of a girl holding a Christmas light in front of her eye, and that's the director, Anna, as well.
Yeah, and or maybe Anna wanted to show that the girl likes the imitation, likes people trying to be something else. There's lots to read into it. One of my last watch notes was, I guarantee modern filmmakers would not have the courage to do the last scene that's in this movie, because it is the climax of your movie and there is literally no dialogue whatsoever, and it goes on forever.
When they're sitting in the car?
Them driving, his point of view, her, him, his point of view, her, him. He pulls over, big, huge, long shot of both of them just sitting there forever. He gets out, big, long shot of him just walking and kicking dirt and da 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 da. And we're thinking the whole time, we are in our minds, we are reading dialogue into it. We're thinking what's going to happen. We're all this. He gets back in the car, looks at her, and they drive off.
And they drive off, and that's the end.
Not one word of dialogue. No, I guarantee modern filmmakers, especially studios, would go, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't end your movie like that. You have to tell the audience what's happening."
That's why that's why it's great that this was independently funded, because she could do what she wanted to without having to worry about it. I totally
Everything
agree.
just conveyed in their acting.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Because there's no music there either. They don't. She doesn't put a soundtrack underneath that. We hear the car. I was so impressed with this, and it's been such a great week to watch this and Frankenstein in 1 week. Woo! I got
I
some
know,
good
and it's
movies.
two classic monsters as well, a vampire and Frankenstein monster.
And it's a foreign film, Tim. Look at you making me like the foreign stuff.
I totally, folks, for those of you that don't know, here's a spoiler. We have two foreign films coming up in our next two shows, and I completely forgot that this was a foreign language film. So when I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my God, now we have three. But anyway, they're all
That's
good.
okay.
So
you keep
just
trying to get me
sit
to
back.
appreciate them. Right. Yeah.
As far as keys, I have a shit ton, and most of them are directors.
Do it.
I see other directors all over this movie, and you can tell
Okay.
she studied them.
Other than David Lynch.
Well, David Lynch is one too.
Definitely.
I've got Peter Bogdanovich because of the black and white
Oh,
photography.
yeah. And also, what's the big one? His big one with, what's her name? Oh, shoot.
Oh, you're talking about Sybil Shepherd, The Last
Yeah.
Picture Show.
Last Picture Show.
Last
Yeah.
Picture Show, right. I could say movies. I'm just saying directors because he did Paper Moon too, which is also in black and white.
Yeah, but Last Picture Show is so much about lost souls trying to connect, which is kind of like this movie.
Okay.
I could see that one much better than
I'll
Paper
put that
Moon.
down.
Yeah. Last Picture Show. Yeah, that's a good, I'd forgotten that one. But yeah, Bogdanovich, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Although I've been hearing here lately that he was a creep, but I won't go into that. You mentioned Sergio Leone, so
Yeah.
I would just say The Good, Bad, and the Ugly,
Yeah.
because that's the most iconic looking film, and this is a very iconic looking film.
And the character of this no speak, no name person who can have so much to manipulate in these people's lives is a very Clint Eastwoody poncho guy.
Poncho guy.
The man with no name, I think,
You
is
know, it
actually
is a
how he's in the
poncho. I was
credits.
thinking it was a duster, but it is a poncho. You're right.
Yeah, he wears a, yeah, he has a
A
poncho.
poncho. Well, it just depends, I guess, because he did so many westerns, you get him confused. But I've got John Hughes because of the music. Some of the music
Oh, okay.
is
That one I would give
very
you. Yeah.
spot on John Hughes.
Yep. Yep. Could see that.
And we talked about David Lynch, obviously. There's
And I've got
anything black and
specifics
white.
of Lynch. So, like
Sure.
Eraserhead, there are moments in this that are what Eraserhead wished it could be, in my opinion, because I'm not a big fan of that film.
I'm not
Um,
either. And you're right, because Eraserhead is boring, even though you're watching long scenes with no dialogue.
and I think and black and white and very
Hmm.
stylistically shot. But I think to your original point, it's very cold. And this movie is very warm in places. It also has cold, but it also has
Hmm.
heart and romance and actual human connection to it. And Lynch doesn't do that well.
Hmm.
Um, Another one is Elephant Man, cutting to these shots of these big oil derricks just going, or having that industrial hum added to scenes on the street. Very Elephant Man approach.
I've
I've
got Anne
got,
Rice. Oh, sorry.
oh, no, no, do Anne Rice.
Anne Rice, The Vampire Chronicles, because even though interviews started off very differently as a book grieving about her daughter's death, as those books evolve, she started having a moral compass and made the vampires good guys that killed bad people. And that's exactly what this vampire is doing in this movie. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very Anne Rice. I have Dracula. Duh.
Duh, as you should.
But not only because it's a vampire, but because he's actually dressed as Dracula in that scene behind me, which just cracks me up. The irony of that just is off the charts.
It's a modern flip on Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Coppola movie, because it's a love story, but
Mhm.
the vampire is the lead in it, not Mina.
He is Mina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Um,
got Let the Right One In
okay.
because I think this is very similar in feel to that.
I thought that the whole time I was watching it, and for some reason I didn't put it down. But you're right. I love that movie. I would almost do
Yeah,
a redux of that movie. I love that movie so much.
I think
Um,
that would work as a double feature with this film. It would
yeah,
be
it
very
would.
interesting to
And
see
it's
both.
Swedish, so it would be another foreign language film.
Yeah.
I'm
Yay.
pretty sure it's Swedish. It's definitely of Scandinavian origin. I have one that is quite obvious that we have not mentioned yet, and that is Nosferatu, the
Mm-hmm.
original black and
Mm-hmm.
white. Or has actually said that she had her actors watch Nosferatu and spaghetti westerns in preparation for their roles. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. Perfect sense.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
especially the pacing and the way she does
Shadows.
the shadows,
Hmm.
and even when they're across the street, like I said, and just slowly walking, the pacing and all of that. Yeah, it's
Don't you
very
just
different.
love that when it's
Hmm.
just like a distant shot of a sidewalk and two people, which is very cat people. I need to put that in there too. Cat
Yep.
people.
Very cat people and that feel. And for this lead actress to have so many scenes where it's basically just her eyes or just her face framed, and she's having to not blank look. She's not blank. There's evidently stuff going on, but so expressive with just her face.
Hmm. She's
Uh,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, it's
She's
really,
very
really
pretty.
well.
And Anna looks so much like her. I'm telling you, look at pictures of them. It's wild how she cast someone that looks like her in
Okay.
the movie. She put all these aspects of herself into the movie, then she cast somebody that looks like her into the movie. I don't know what that says about vanity, but she is a director.
Yeah.
I
I've
have, since you mentioned it, I Am Legend, which ironically is another vampire story that I love, but there is a pit in the book that they throw bodies into to
correct.
burn. And you
Yep.
mentioned that big pit, and I had completely forgotten about it.
I'd forgotten that it was in that movie, but it is, or in that book too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
actually a great way for her to get rid of bodies because they would expect
It
to find
would.
bodies there. Yeah.
Hmm. But we never see that. We as an audience have to make that inference rather than it being told to us somehow. Again, another thing that's strong about the script.
I think it's I love the fact that we're coming up with all these directors as keys, and I have more, but we're also doing all the classics too. We're saying Dracula, Nosferatu, Anne Rice, Let the Right One In, I Am Legend. Those are all like big vampire movies too, or books. Yeah.
Well, and I would add Alien to it because there are a couple of times when we're getting a cat reaction, and
Oh
it
yeah.
reminded me of the cat in Alien. Watching the first attack and trying to catch the cat and everything else. So yeah.
Yeah. I have John Carpenter because of what you were saying with the still shots that go on for a little too long and the tracking shots. Those are all very John Carpenter to me.
Yeah, and he does have that tendency in his best works of lingering on a scene. So we're almost leaning forward going, what's going to happen?
There's something in the background.
Yeah, and then he cuts away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for stuff.
I have, from a screenplay standpoint and sociological standpoint, this movie passes the Bechdel test, which is, if you're not familiar with that, that's the test where two female characters can have an entire scene together and talk and not mention a man. And very few movies can pass that test.
How do you spell that?
Bechtel, Bechdel, I think.
I've just never heard of it, but okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a big sociological deal now where people, when they review a movie, will look at that from that perspective.
Okay.
Are these female characters strong enough to have a scene by themselves where they don't have to talk about a guy?
Yeah, I can't find the quote, but it's definitely a feminine empowered movie. There's no doubts there as well.
Oh yeah, I think even down to it's interesting in my notes because I have that whole section where I'm going, okay, what is up with the balloon? I'm not sure what's happening. Who is this person? I don't know. Is this a different girl? Is
It's
that the
the grabber.
prostitute? I don't know who this is. No, but I said in one of my notes, I go, okay, this may change my whole revenge for the women thing, but no, it doesn't. It actually supports it because it's saying female activism is a good thing. Do your own thing. Dance with a balloon if you feel like it. So,
Right.
yeah.
I have Tarantino because of
Oh,
that
yeah.
shot in the car that you were talking about. All of that stuff reminds me of Tarantino, whether it be Pulp Fiction or it be that one with Kurt Russell that was in Grindhouse.
Yeah, I also think the scene in the very first scene with the pimp in the apartment is very Tarantino. The way he
Right.
talks, the way he's that macho sort of, I'm going to
Asshole.
intimidate everybody. I'm such a dick. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. And then back to a cat people, I just went ahead and put Val Lewton in there because he was a producer known for black and white photography, black and white films.
Well, so was everybody back then. Come on. That's all they had.
But he was specifically known for the shadow and light horror films
Yes.
to compete with Universal, RKO competing with Universal.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
when you mention Val Lewton in history, people go black and white shadows.
Black and white shadows. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Miyazaki, specifically No Face, the character that's in Spirited Away. It's a big influence on my daughter who loves anime and Japanese in general culture. And that character is all in black, is in one of those. What'd you call it? Chador?
Chador? A
The
Chador, Chador?
character, yeah, the character wears one. I think the character is called No Face or Musha Musha is the name of it. But it's like a spirit.
Okay.
And it just hovers in the background and it appears and it has just no nose, no mouth, just two eyes, and then like almost like triangles painted above and bottom of the eyes like a clown.
Like a harlequin.
Yeah, like a harlequin,
Hmm.
except it eats money. It asks for money. It asks for sacrifices. It's a really interesting character, but
So what is
there
the
were
key and how
times
do you spell it?
it's Miyazaki is the director. He's done all of these
Okay.
anime films.
Oh, okay.
Specifically
How do
the
you spell
film
his name?
Miyazaki. And
I'll
this
find it. Okay.
particular film is Spirited Away, the character being No Face, that is one of the characters in that movie.
Okay. I like
And I
it.
think
It's
no,
another director, and I just didn't know anything about him. Okay.
yeah, very mysterious, interesting, like the girl is in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last key that I have, I copped from IMDb, and I should have known because I've seen these movies, but she has stated that graphic novels were a major inspiration for her, and
Hmm.
that her language of this film is very similar to a comic book. It's told in frames
Yeah,
and the high contrast monochrome.
I can see
Bad
that.
City, the fictional location, is probably an homage to Frank Miller's Sin
Sin
City.
City. Yep,
Right.
makes sense.
And she also teamed up with Radco and developed a series of graphic novels to accompany the film that reveals
Wow.
more about this girl and Bad City. So there
Oh,
are
that would be
graphic
cool.
novels out there. Yeah.
That's a definite key.
I would
Definite
go
key.
if I don't know that you can find them now unless you go on eBay, but I'm sure they're out there. So
My
I'm
last
curious.
key is another one that you will know is Near Dark,
Oh yeah.
because this is
Another
very
classic vampire.
modern Western vampire feel to it.
Yeah, very much so.
So yeah.
I before we close, I have
Mhm.
something I do want to read verbatim if you'll
Yeah.
tolerate it. I,
You go verbatim.
I find this interesting. This is a quote from Anna. She says, "People ask me, why did you make A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night? My answer is that I was lonely. That's why. But taking a step further, the truth is I make films to make friends and find real intimacy, a connection with others based on something that's meaningful to me. The people who make these films with you, your cast and crew, it's like they're on a vision quest with you. That is an incomparable experience. And then when the film is done and out there, the people who are attracted to your film, the audiences, festivals that embrace it, other filmmakers, artists, and critics who like what you do, those are my friends. And I don't expect to be friends with everyone."
Wow, that's great.
I know. That's what I thought. I was like, that's how an individual intelligent person thinks or
Oh,
creator thinks, I guess would be a better word. I like that.
interesting. That's awesome, and a way to
Mhm.
meet friends. Yay! What? Keep doing it
Well, I
then.
like
Make
the way
more
she
movies.
describes the experience of
Hmm.
collaboration too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, if you watch that documentary on Del Toro, he is so collaborative of
Hmm.
what, but also has a very distinct vision of
Yeah.
what he wants. And I'm sure she is too, which is great. So that's what Tim and I think.
Hmm.
We'd love to know what you guys think. People often say that I'm curmudgeonly and I complain a lot, or I say I don't like, but this week has been great. I not only liked my genre, I liked the film. And
You will
Tim,
no
thanks
longer
for
make fun of my Iranian vampire Western.
I can no longer make fun of it because it actually was great, and you were right. And thanks to Shutter, I guess, for giving it to you to begin with.
I don't know that
But
I can't remember where I saw it originally. I had to rent it this time. But
we hope you guys go watch it. We didn't give a spoiler alert at the beginning, but you should know that by now. So, and we'd love to know what you guys think. Do you agree with us? Do you like the pacing of this? Do you like the style of this? Do you like this film in general? And or are there any keys that we might have missed? We don't ask for that often enough, but what about some other parallels that you guys think of that might be interesting for our list? Also, if you would love to support us, we would love to have your support. We do have a Patreon, and there we have not only some free materials, but also some higher tier elements that help us keep affording to do this since we don't go sponsorship wise. You haven't seen, you're not interrupted by commercials or sponsors when you listen to Johnny Has the Keys. And that's because we have Patreons that help us and keep us going. So we'd love to have more of them to help. So jump over there and join. And for as little as a cup of coffee a month, you can help us out. And we would appreciate that. And until next time, Tim, I guess we're going more foreign next time, but in a totally different
yes,
genre.
we're going to outer space where no one can hear you breathe.
Actually, we're not going to outer space. We're just going to science fiction. So there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. You don't want to give anything away, spoiler.
I haven't
But
given
anyway,
anything away. No one knows what I'm talking about.
nobody knows what we're talking about. But anyway, we'll see you next week. And if you're listening to us, just click on next week and see what we do. Sort of
All right.
thing. Bye.
You can't start the car. Johnny has the key.